This could be us.
So back to what I was saying.
Could be us.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Another episode. Weapon H All in One Podcast.
With Tanya.
Okay, whatever.
And her.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Don't.
Before
when
we
I tell
get
you I'm
started,
looking your
whatever,
hand,
whatever,
like,
before we get started,
you about to go right on over.
before we get started, make sure you guys hit those subscribe buttons, the likes, and today maybe we'll see if we can get an episode without something flying in the background. You know,
You would like something flying in the background now.
actually I would. Yeah, look at that backdrop. See, we got a nice little backdrop today. though.
Santa Margarita. And we spent the day walking, well, not the whole day, because we left out early this morning. And as some of you have seen on my Facebook page, the tender are the boats that drop down in case of emergency, which my partner here just explained that to me. And fortunately, there's 150 people that can fit on each one. So hopefully they have enough if something were to happen on this boat.
They have enough, but they use it to also when the ship is too big to come to the port. They use those to ferry people.
And that's what they did. So we got ferried over, and the tender,
They're pulling them up
they're
now.
pulling them up now. That's the noise you hear.
Now we're gonna wait. Okay. That's very, very loud.
But the tender was like this. It's
Different
not a
size.
large boat. Fits 150 people in there like this. And I don't even think 150 people on that. But anyway,
No,
ferried
I'm
us
gonna
over
fill it
to Santa Margarita, and then we walked over 3 miles to get to Portofino, which was beautiful. And fun fact, I didn't realize that someone told me that Kourtney Kardashian got married to the Barker guy. Is that another one coming? Look,
What?
there's 2 more coming.
2 more boats?
2 more boats coming. 3 more boats.
What the hell are they doing?
Now, these boats were supposed to be back by
The last one's supposed to be at
5:15. It is 6:43 our time. So I don't understand why.
Yes, we're gonna be late. See, that's gonna be some BS.
Right,
We got-
because tomorrow we are, we're cruising all night to wake up in beautiful Cannes, which I am most excited about, because he lived over there,
Yeah.
and that's in France. So I was
South
struggling a little bit with the Italian, but now I got my partner here who was able to really maneuver us through Italian because he played 18 years over here. Yeah, but you also,
Well, yeah, I can
you
maneuver everywhere.
can maneuver around
All
the
throughout
Italian.
Europe, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the language. You were able to communicate a little bit, understand better than I was. But when we get to France, you'll be able to. So I'm happy about that. Happy about the trip. And, you know, we just kind of touched on you living there for 18 years.
Yeah.
What kind of adjustment was that? Because
Well,
while
just
I'm
what,
here,
coming here,
No.
or when I got back home.
so being here in Europe, this is my first time. It's absolutely gorgeous. The way of life, people are very patient. They're not running all over the place. They take a siesta for a few hours. I love a good siesta. And he'll tell you that. I've been siestaing all this trip. I think they pump something into the air to make me eat more, sleep more, and drink more. Because that's really the main things I've been doing.
So,
He's
pumping
got,
iron.
he's got a couple pictures of me sleeping. It's
Oh
just,
no, I got a whole video.
okay,
I might just add that to it for y'all so y'all can
that's
see
fine.
it.
I've been relaxed. And again, some things I've noticed about the Italians in Europe is their love for just relaxing.
Life, just
And
enjoy
life.
life, enjoy life.
And so, how was that? What kind of transition was that for you, living in Europe for 18 years and then coming back to the United States with all this hustle and bustle?
First off, I would say I took the best of both places. So I would take the competitive drive from the States. And sometimes I was a little bit overboard with the drive competitiveness, but I took some of that and then once I got over here, I saw how they enjoyed life. So I also incorporated that to the way I live my life.
What was the hardest part about your adjustment coming from
States
Europe
to here or
yes.
back or
No, Europe to the United States? What was, because you were a ball player, so you
Right,
were pretty.
Right, but I mean,
pretty-
it was a transition when I left the States to come here, then when I came back as well. So it was two adjustments I had to make. But so coming back after my career was over, it was a bit of a struggle, I would say.
To come back to the United States. Yeah, I can imagine.
Because one, it
Because
just
in Europe, you were a star. After the games, you know, you had groupies throwing themselves at you.
Stop.
Didn't they?
Stop.
They didn't?
I ain't saying.
All right, but I'm just saying you were a star here in Europe. And then to come back to the United States and just be like a regular person. How did you deal with that, and how did some of your colleagues deal with that?
That actually wasn't really the hard part for me. The hard part for me was not being able to relate to people as much anymore, because I've lived a totally different life for so long, for 18 years now. When I come back and I want to bring up something that happened over there, it's like nobody understands or can't really relate to what I'm talking about.
But
So-
they had to enjoy your stories, because that's why I'm fortunate enough that you wanted to bring me to see where you lived for 18 years, because I was so intrigued and I would ask questions, and because it's totally different than the United States. So I'm fortunate that you wanted to bring me here and have me touch on a bunch of different places just so I can know a little bit about yourself and why you are the way you are, because that's a big part of your life. You know, you're patient, you're kind, and not to say you can't get that in the United States, but it's just such a different way of life.
Yeah, especially from what I came from.
Right. Growing up in the
Projects and work.
right.
Then we just always, you always have to fight for everything. So it was a little different, whereas now everything is, it was just, it was a constant proving ground. Because that's why I always had this chip on my shoulder. I always had to constantly prove myself. And not to say you don't have to prove
Well,
yourself
why did
here.
you have to prove yourself? Was because you came from a D3.
No, it was even before that.
Okay.
So even before I
But
got
proving
to-
yourself as far as basketball was.
Yeah, but it ended up, it was mostly talk about basketball, but it was other things as well. So I mean, no matter what you did, you pretty much have to prove yourself in each new stage. Whether it's you're the smart kid in elementary, you gotta prove it again once you get to high school. I mean, whatever the case may be, it's always like a constant proving ground, and it creates a competitiveness. But sometimes not all competitiveness is good. It's not always all good, but it can be used. It's just how you've been able to use it.
Right.
And that's what the key comes down. How do you use that
Do you
competitive
see
nature?
a lot? Do you see, because after you finished your career, you went and dabbled a little bit into coaching. Did you see the drive that these kids had that you had?
No. No, I most of it did not. But I mean, I'm sure that
And some kids?
some kids you will see it,
Right.
but vast majority not so much. But a lot of them, it was different for them. They have a lot more opportunities. You have social media, you have internet, you have all these things where they can be seen, and they don't have to grind. They have to grind, but it's a different type of grind.
So with
Our
that being
grind-
said, your grind was even tougher because
Yeah.
there was no social media.
Right.
You came from a Division III school, and most of
Well,
the
academic high school, which led me going to Division III school. But yeah.
right, but most athletes to get to Europe play D2 or D1.
Mhm.
So not a lot played your D3.
Nah, not too many.
But because of who you are, and not because of who saw you, but because of how good you were.
Right, but like I was saying
You had to
about
work
the
at
proving
it.
ground, I always had to do it. Like I would have to go, New York, I'm going to New York to play. I'm in New Jersey to play.
Just to
I'm in the
get
Shore.
exposure.
I'll be in Ohio. I'll be in Pennsylvania. It didn't matter. I would just always go in places because that's how we got our exposure back then.
Where was the
especially
first
from a
place
small
you went
school.
to in Europe? Where was your first
Portugal.
Portugal?
And I went over there on a tryout contract. You know, they brought me over because even
What
though
year
I was
was that?
doing '93, and even though I was
What were you doing in
doing well, and I did well in college. Once I got out, I started playing in the pro league, different semi-pro leagues, whatever. I was doing well. I was constantly, but still, no matter what I was doing, I was playing against NBA guys. It didn't matter. I was still doing, but when I came over, it still was because of where I came from. It was okay. We're gonna have a tryout contract.
So when you went to Portugal, how long did you? Since it was a tryout contract, how long did you stay there?
The contract was it was a contract, but they had the option, like it was like maybe 2 weeks to make a decision before.
Did you stay there or did you have to come back home?
By the second day they would sign me for the year, so it wasn't
Nice.
I went over there and
So did you have to come
ran
back
through
home and
the-
get stuff?
no, I brought everything.
Oh, you did.
I never thought I was. No,
You knew you weren't leaving. You said, I got
I
this
didn't think like
opportunity
that.
and
Yeah,
I
I
am.
didn't think like that.
So from that time, that's when your whole European career started in
That's where it's-
1993.
Yeah, that's what started off, and I did a couple
How
years.
long
Then I
did-
came back to '95 to be with the Knicks, to start with the Knicks. So
Right.
that's where that came from. So I actually got a trial with the Nets when I first got out of college, but at that time I really
didn't
wasn't
know that.
quite ready. Yeah, I wasn't
When
quite
you
ready.
graduated college,
The very next year I got a trial with the Nets,
okay.
and I was
Who
still
was the
pretty
coach
raw.
there?
Who was the coach at that time? Fitch. Bill
And
Fitch
how did
was.
that walk me through that process? You coming again from a D3 school, who had a contact, who knew you?
The agent, George Johnson.
Okay.
The agent used to play with the Nets. So
Is he
he
still
actually-
around?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in years, but
Okay.
he somehow, I guess, I don't know through whether the coach, somebody, he knew somebody. He came to see me and he liked me, and he wanted, because I had about maybe four or five different agents that were trying to sign me because he had that NBA background. I went with him, and he got me in, New Jersey, but I was still a little raw at that time. I had
Raw
talent.
meaning that you
I had talent, but I still need to refine some parts of my game.
were a street baller.
No. But I wasn't quite professionally. I was still.
You was
collegiate.
cussing people out on the court.
No, what are you talking about?
I'm
It's about
trying-
my game. Listen
Okay,
to
well,
me.
I'm trying to figure it out, and I
I'm
can
telling
ask
you.
questions.
You can. I'm telling you, that's in my game. It's the game. It had nothing to do with my.
Well, if you're on
personality.
the court and somebody does something wrong, were you cussing them out?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Why not you doing that?
You ain't never cussed nobody out on the court?
That was later on. Once I became more established.
Not right off the bat.
Yeah, not right off the bat. I was a rookie. I was still trying to learn.
Oh, okay.
So, but, so I went in, wasn't quite ready yet. And that's when I went overseas for a couple of years and I came back. By that time, I refined. My game was refined by that time. I came back to New York and did what I was supposed to do. Played well, did the whole nine.
So why didn't you
Worked out.
get signed?
They ended up going in another direction. So they had me for a little while, then went another direction, and
So you were playing at the Meadowlands?
No, it's the Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meadowlands?
No, that was totally two different things.
Meadowlands. Oh, that's football.
No. Meadowlands, Jersey was out there for a while too. Meadowlands is in New Jersey.
So you make it seem like I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Because you did wrong. It's two different things. Madison Square Garden is in the heart of New York City. Meadowlands is out in the swamps of Secaucus.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so-
didn't somebody play in the
the
Meadowlands?
Nets?
Right. Oh, we're talking about the Knicks.
Yes.
Okay, because you didn't make that clear transition.
Actually, I did.
Well, the
Because I
Nets.
said I went overseas for 2 years, and then I came back. That's when the Knicks thing happened. That's what I
Okay.
said. Yeah,
Okay.
It was probably, I don't know what
What?
you were thinking about. Thinking about something, but it wasn't that. Anyway, but yeah, so that's where
You were so fresh.
that came in, and then after that, I went back over again. Then I came back with the Celtics. I came in this summer, so I went in the summer league, and I kind of tore that up a bit. Went to the camp, did what I had to do. So I got a invite to come back for a veterans camp with them.
With the
But,
Celtics.
yeah, but I also
What year was this?
97. But I also had an offer to go play in Israel with David Blatt, who was
Which was a
very
better
well-known
offer.
coach. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it's a better offer, but it was too good of an offer to be playing games.
So the offer was solid in Israel, where
That was
the
very good.
Celtics were like, well, maybe,
Well-
we're not sure, like that?
This is what it was.
Okay.
I had an offer on the table. Had my agent went to them like, look, if you guarantee half of the season, then we'll stay here. If you're not guaranteeing, we out of here. And they came back with a offer maybe like a quarter. No, I'm not playing that game.
And off to Israel you went.
And off to Israel, that was the last time I was like, I was done. Because at that
And
point,
so at 97, that was when you never came back to.
yeah, because at that point, it wasn't a matter of me wondering if I could play. I knew I could play at that point. So it was, for me now, it was like, hey, I don't.
You're gonna make it work in New York, right?
Yeah,
How long did you play in Israel?
2 seasons.
Okay. So you played in Israel, Portugal, Switzerland.
Well, Switzerland's more towards the end, but France and Poland as well.
Okay. Out of all those countries, and I already know the answer, but where did you play the longest and where did you enjoy living the most?
I would say it was even with Portugal, Switzerland.
Right.
Because Switzerland is like pretty much, like I said, I ended my career, but I played like my last 4 or 5 years there or something like that. But I also played about 4 or 5 years in Portugal, but at different times. So, but as far as favorite place, as far as what, basketball wise, or you mean just
To live.
living wise? Living wise, I would say it was the south of France.
South of France, where we're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so that has been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. And I don't even say a bucket list because sometimes I feel like bucket lists don't come to fruition, but it's been on my manifestation board, mind, all that. And for him to present this lovely trip for me to start landed in Portugal, then we went to Rome, Naples, where else did we? Florence,
Florence,
and now
Santa Margarita.
Santa Margarita. Tomorrow we're going to Monaco
Cannes
and
and
Cannes.
Cannes and
Monte Carlo.
We're going to Cannes, but Monaco is the country. Monaco,
Right.
Monaco
You
is
keep
just the
saying
city.
that, I keep getting that mixed up because I was always infatuated with Prince Rainier and Princess Grace.
Yeah,
And
it's the same place.
yeah, so I'm so excited and
Marseille after that. Then the Dead Sea. Then we got Barcelona. Then we head on back.
it'll be 2 weeks. I know my dog misses me.
And
the kids do.
And I haven't thrown overboard yet, so we've done pretty good.
No, we are doing pretty good. Right, we're,
Chopping it up, having a blast, to be honest with you.
yeah. We're swimming, well, you're swimming. I'm napping. I finished a whole book. I don't get to do a whole book in less than a week. I've been thinking about life goals. What do I want to do with my life? This is what I want to do with my life. But I love that I'm over here, and I know the next trip I want to take with you is Switzerland because that's where you live the most, and that's where you have the most stories about how you actually wanted to live there. But when you're naive like myself and you live in the United States, I'm like, well, how come we just can't live here? Talking about Switzerland or Italy, they don't make it easy for you to live over here. Right. And even though you worked, played basketball and lived here, they still sent you packing.
Switzerland is a very small country, so it's a lot more difficult than some of the others. So, and then they're neutral, so they have that neutrality thing going on.
What does that mean? Neutral. There's no
They don't-
political parties?
They don't involve, like you see how
Oh, people
America
say I'm like
has allies,
Switzerland.
allies here.
Okay.
France is allied, Israel allied, all that stuff. Switzerland's neutral. We're not allied. We do this for everybody. We ain't choosing no
Was the United
sides.
States ever like that?
No.
So,
They're
there's,
always trying to take over some damn body, but they're gone.
but they're not even the top of the food chain anymore in the United States.
Nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
China's come up big. So it's still a world power. But there are countries coming up, and there's also alliances banding together to try to rival.
So not to get too into the weeds or political, from where all the places that you lived, where do you think the United States can benefit if they did something like what Israel did or what Italy does?
They can do was mind their damn business. That's what they can do. Stop trying to interfere with everybody's stuff. Take care of your own country first. Trying to do everything else, and got a whole mess back home.
What about regulate stuff all the time? Like, I'm over here, people smoke, you know, and they put ashtrays on the table. You remember back in the day in the United States, they have ashtrays on the table? One of the waiters said, "You want this ashtray?" Or whatever language she was speaking in Italian.
I actually like that.
And I said, "What is that?" Because I didn't even know that was an ashtray.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, I don't like
that
smoke
part.
either. I don't, but
I don't want people they smoke in my face. So.
I don't either, but I don't know. There's something about just having all these rules and the government getting involved with everything.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, I
you know,
agree with
and
that
I'm
part.
talking about smoking. I don't like smoking either. I was
Well,
glad
I
when
mean,
they
I get
stopped
what
the
you're
smoking
saying.
in the clubs, but
But-
leave it to the business owners, some things.
Or just leave some things to the actual people.
Right. We have so many, like, and then I love it over here because dogs can go anywhere. Anywhere. Every dog I saw, I said, "Hi, puppy. What's up, pups?"
Not quite anywhere, but they do have a lot more freedom to roam around now. You know, you can take them a lot more places than we can. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to part one of this one, because we ran a little over today, so we're going to split it into 2 parts. So I want to thank you for joining in on this episode. I'm looking forward to seeing you on part 2 of the Age Part 1 podcast.
Tanya and her.
See you guys.
This could be us.
So back to what I was saying.
Could be us.